still okay. Here we go. Hi, it's another episode of Learning Lab with myself, Jennifer Crawford, and my business partner and co-founder of Spirit,
Meredith Eaton.
Meredith Eaton. I always feel bad like just saying your name for you, so I kind of always pass the baton to you because I don't want to.
That's all right. Either way,
do all the talking. All right, well, these learning labs are about 10 minutes long, and essentially we want to share lessons that we have learned along the way on our entrepreneurial journey. So hopefully save you some of the hard-earned lessons that we've had to go through. So today we wanted to talk about being busy. And Meredith actually, I don't know, a couple years ago when we were chatting about this, Meredith, you said something that I've always remembered. And you said, being busy feels a lot like success. And I was like, bingo, you nailed it on the head. It actually does feel like success. When you wake up, you got things to do. You're checking them off your to-do list. You are doing things. You have things to do because your business is just, running along. You've got client work, you've got bills to send out, you've got invoices, you've got emails to respond to. It all feels like success, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It does. And it feels like what work should feel like, right? So it feels like you're working. And I can't take total credit for that sort of insight, because actually came from my dad, who spent his life as a sales trainer. And he used to talk about, when I first went into business for myself and was selling, he used to talk about that back in the day of cold calls, when you would actually just pick up the phone and dial, people cold to try to sell your services, that salespeople would spend a lot of time rearranging stuff on their desk, their notes, and I'm about to make the call, but I have to I have to have my inspiration, and I need my coffee, and I gotta rearrange my notes in the right order, and would use their entire cold calling time moving stuff around. And then they would report back to him, who was their coach, and say, I was so busy, I didn't get around to making the calls.
Yeah. I mean, it's and there's a lot of procrastination in there, which is sort of tied into sometimes all of our busy activity. I wanted to talk about it today because I happen to be seeing, I don't know, just lately, a lot of our, hi, Tara, a lot of our colleagues, other business owners, other women business owners, I see a lot of them posting on social media, oh yeah, up at 5 a.m. I've got 5 client calls today, and I'm burning the midnight oil. And, on the surface, that looks great. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're busy. I'm so glad you've got clients and client calls and things to do. But at the same time, I'm also looking at it as the sense that, you need help. Like, you should not have to get up at 5 a.m. and work until midnight to get all of these things done. Because if you're so busy doing the day-to-day things in your business, you're neglecting the big picture, right? You just don't have the luxury of the time that you need to plan and develop and work on strategies and big picture ideas, because you're so busy with the to-do list and the everyday stuff, right?
Exactly. And that's the idea, is that's the hard stuff. Thinking big picture, planning, looking really closely at, are you on the right path? Are you doing the right things? That's hard. That's hard to do. And so it's really easy to be drawn into the procrastination and the trick of busy feeling successful. And you're just moving around all the time, like you said, up at this time, up at that, to doing all the stuff all the time. But are you actually using your time well? Are you actually moving forward? Or are you just, like a duck with the legs going underwater the whole time and looking, I've got this all under control. And that's a trap, really, is the point that people so easily fall into, and then don't understand why they're getting burnt out, why their business isn't growing, why they can't ever seem to launch that new program or make that transition, or even bring on a team, hire, bring on people to delegate to. Never, I just can't ever get to it. I'm always so busy.
Yeah. It's hard for me to see, like, outsider looking in. I'm like, oh, I just want to get in there and help. I want to fix it. I see things like business owners with waiting lists. And that's my pet peeve. I do not like to see a business owner with a waiting list, because to me that is a huge red flag that they have not built their systems and their business to scale. Their business is reliant on them too much. They don't have great systems. They haven't developed a large enough team to accommodate business. Wait lists are really dangerous. They look really sexy on the surface, but the fact is, more likely than not, your potential customer is not actually waiting. You have competition out there, and they're probably going to do business with them. So, beware the wait list. And also, if you're, oh yes, go ahead, Meredith.
I'd say also the other trap you fall into with the wait list is sometimes it means you're not charging enough, because if there's that many people who want your services that you cannot keep up, but those are the same people who say, I can't afford to hire help.
Yes, it's all so true. It's all so true. And why did we get into business in the first place? I mean, a lot of reasons, right? But I think a lot of us got into business because we wanted to be in control of our own destiny. We also did not want to deal with like salary caps, right? We didn't want our income limited by working for someone else. We wanted to be able to be as successful as we could make ourselves. And so when we're so busy and we're not delegating, and I'm talking about delegating to, systems and tools and technology just as much as I'm talking about delegating to like a virtual assistant or your first employment hire. When we're not delegating, then we're giving ourselves, a salary cap. We are limiting our growth. We can only get so big. And in order to keep growing, so do our hours. We have to just keep working more and more and more to keep up with the business until we just can't take any more business. And that's not good business. That is the business owner who's going to burn out in 5 years or less, and is going to shut their doors when they had everything in their power to be successful. All right, so
what do we do about this?
What do we do about it? What do we do? What do we do, Meredith? It's so hard. Business is so hard.
Luckily, we always have a solution. We don't talk about a problem unless we have a solution. So there are a lot of solutions to this, to be fair. But the baby step, the first step out of this overwhelm and out of the trap of busy feeling successful is to I just saw, yes, Tara's commenting, raise your prices because you have a waiting list. Exactly. I feel like I've maybe said that before to Tara. So anyway, so the first step is our task mapping workshop, or any sort of task mapping process. Now we offer this workshop because it's what we do for ourselves to stay on track and to figure out, when we feel overwhelmed. So we create a workshop to share. But really the key is having a process and a system to take your entire to-do list and be able to divide it up and figure out what is urgent, what is important, what can be delegated to a person, to a system, to another professional, outsourcing, and then be able to sort of tackle and get these things off your plate so that you can focus on the big picture of running your business.
Yeah, I love the whole process, and I love it because we use it and it works. And also I like the revelations that people have during the task mapping workshop, because rarely do people slow down enough to unpack all the things that they're doing, where they're spending their time, what's being neglected. And I tell you what, this is strange. I still find it strange, but I know there are a lot of reasons for it. More often than not, the things that business owners neglect are directly tied to incoming revenue. So not sending invoices, not following up with clients who've shown interest, delaying getting proposals out. All of these things that are directly tied to increased revenue are often the things that we choose our distractions over. We'd rather post on social media or, comment in that group or take a little group challenge than actually go after the revenue.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that just as much as anyone else.
Yeah, and there's a lot of.
I don't know why. I don't understand it. I don't understand when I'm doing it. I don't understand it when other people tell us they're doing it.
It's weird.
What
It's
happened?
weird. It's weird. I'm just going to classify it as weird because we're not here to solve it, but we are here to recognize it, acknowledge it, and then move in a different direction. We can unpack the mind garbage behind it later. But anyway, I think that's it for today, right, Meredith? I think we're at our 10-minute mark. Yes, Tara makes it, before we leave, Tara, who's here, makes a point that yes, she has a waiting list. Yes, she's going to raise her prices because her expenses have risen. Yes, your expenses will always rise from year to year. So honestly, like, we look and adjust. We've been adjusting our prices pretty much annually for the past few years, and for the same reasons. So yeah, we support you in that decision. Thank you for coming to Learning Lab. We will see you next week, same place, same time, different subject.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right, later.